Hello, welcome to Grey the Gold Witch. Today we're doing a reading on what's behind the veil, and these are third eye messages that will help you, that are going to reveal what needs your attention and what you haven't been able to see before. So there's 5 piles today. The first is blue calcite, the second is smoky quartz, the third is celestite, the fourth is amethyst, and the fifth is labradorite. So take a second and pause the video if you need to. Meditate on the piles. Timestamps are linked below. And I will see you in your reading. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the blue calcite, then this is your reading on what's underneath the veil for you. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with the archetype deck. What does pile 1 need to know? Okay. The shadow. All right. There's parts of you that you're not wanting to address right now. Parts of you that you run from when you're faced with them. And a quick way to realize what one of these things is realize what bothers you in other people. Because if it bothers you that they're doing it and it repels you from them or repulses you, that's something inside of you that you don't face, that you don't address, that wants to be faced so that you can either release it or transmute it into something else, or own it if it's something that, say you're repelled by people's confidence, that could be stuck in your shadow and wanting to come out, is that confidence you have in yourself. And it's clear that with this card coming out, there's some things you haven't wanted to face in yourself because you've been fearful of what it would mean to reveal it, what it would mean to change your life and to look at this in the face. And what's interesting is the Poet card is on the back of the deck here. And what that's reminding me is your greatest strength, where you can really elevate in yourself and come into your power, is by facing these things in yourself. Someone was talking to me recently about how you have to face the good and bad of you to really get the full information. You can't read a book and skip the scary parts to get the full understanding of the book. You have to read the entire thing. And that's how you have to be in facing yourself and doing your self-development. And there's things that you might do that you are unaware of or don't notice that they might make you feel bad or contribute to your feelings of sadness, or those loops we get stuck in whenever we aren't really aligned with ourselves and our true confidence and happiness. So yeah, what wants to come out from the veil is stuff you've been trying to avoid, stuff you haven't been wanting to face about yourself. And really, a truth I've learned in the healing process is that anything can be forgiven. Anything that's happened can be forgiven. We have all of these societal standards, and yes, there's horrible, horrible things people do. But in the end, it's between you and your higher power. And I feel like there's some things in your past or some things about you that you aren't wanting to face. And you're meant to release them. And even maybe doing poetry, just writing out kind of free thought, automatic response, just writing streams of consciousness, you could uncover some of these things that you've been hiding or suppressing for a long time. I'm even thinking, like, children are told what's right or wrong and they believe it. There might be some things about you that you were taught when you were little were wrong, but they they're good parts of you, and you're meant to take them out of the shadow, take them out of the dark. So I want to look at the alchemy cards now for you. For pile 1. Okay. Chaos. Oh, wow. Okay. So you're scared of change right now in your life. You're scared of bringing change into the circumstances you've already crafted. You don't want things to be different than they are. And I think you're thinking in very black and white thinking, like it's all good or it's all bad. And that's not how life operates. There's a lot of gray area. And a thing about the universe is that it is chaos. The universe is chaos, and we try and control things. But in the end, we have no control over how nature operates, how, natural disasters happen, how there's things that are out of our control. And this chaos is what mixes things up and allows us to see the world from a different perspective. And there's some fears you have here about your shadow that are also in your shadow. This is very meta. And there's something here about facing your fears, facing what you fear about yourself and about the world, and surrendering to what you can't control. And by looking at these things, you also see your strength in adversity, see your strength in the difficult times. And it almost feels as though you have, for some people watching this, you might have a fixation on the negative. You might focus too much on the chaos of the world or your negative qualities, and you might get stuck in a thought loop about that. And what you feed your intention into, what you feed your energy into, that's what becomes a pattern in your life. Our minds are computers. If we stay on one program of focusing on the bad, we'll continue to focus on the bad. And we need to have a balance of seeing things as they are. We don't want to be delusional about how life is and only think about the good. But there needs to be a balance here. And in some way, you're either you're avoiding things, or you're too fixated on harsh truths. And this is about reprogramming your brain to work more effectively for you. And noticing when you're in these thought loops. It's almost as though you need to have separate time to do shadow work and separate time to just live your life. Because you might be subconsciously living in the shadow, or you might be avoiding it altogether. And you'll know how it is for you. But there's an imbalance here you're being asked to address for yourself. So we're going to do one more oracle card before we hop into the tarot. We have Don Juan. Spotlights your positive, seductive qualities, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Okay. There's something here in your shadow about you getting worth from the connections around you, from people being attracted to you or being seduced by you. And you're being asked to notice why you feel the need to be accepted by people. Because this could be a shadow component of you not fully being able to accept yourself and needing the external world to do it. So this is something some shadow work could be helpful with. And yeah, there's something here about a tendency to try and control the chaos by focusing on romantic partners, romantic options, and there's something here about noticing this and choosing to learn how to accept yourself and accept yourself for who you are and get out of the mode of feeling as though you need other people to complete you or you need other people to prove your worth. Because everyone lives in this chaos realm. You're not the only person who has this chaos and these shadow aspects. Every single person does. And we all have ways we subconsciously act on our shadow or do things to prove ourselves to ourselves. And this is you subconsciously saying that you need someone else to affirm your existence. And the way you balance this out is by getting to a point where you're the only person who needs to affirm your existence and affirm yourself. So, yes, let's look at the tarot cards now. You also might have dealt with people who are domons, who you might be attracted to people who have that romantic kind of love bombing tactic. I'm sorry for that shuffle, God. Yeah, so this is about noticing why you're attracted to this, why you need this to help you feel okay in chaos. It's like you attract more chaos. And there's some equilibrium Spirit's wanting you to find. We have 5 of coins, 4 of wands, Page of cups, and Ace of swords in reverse. Okay, so this is a test you're going through right now in your shadow work, where all of this stems from the shadow. A lot of shadow work stems from feelings from self-worth and also feelings of abandonment. And something I'm seeing here is when you were younger, somebody made you feel as though you weren't good enough. And they hurt your expectations on what love should look like for you. And they made you feel as though you weren't good enough on your own. And there's a pattern you're in now where you're going for people who, can't give you what you need, can't give you, so you almost subconsciously prepare for the worst. But you aren't noticing this on a conscious level, so you keep repeating the same pattern where you go for people who are immature and childish, who can't give you the stability you're truly craving. And it's almost as though you subconsciously expect to be left out in the cold, so you go to situations that will give you that result. So, Spirit, what is their advice on breaking this pattern? You've just got to face it for all of it that it is and address why you're in this pattern, address why this is happening to you, and really look at it. I talked at the beginning about just facing this for all it is, and there's something about feelings of abandonment where you tie your worth. And this could also be in jobs and other things where you kind of self-sabotage at the beginning because you don't expect it. You expect this pattern to continue because of your past experience. And we're all a product of our experiences. So it makes sense that if you had bad experiences, a car alarm just went off, and that makes me think of, like, if you've been violated in the past, and that's your only experience with love, then you'll expect that to happen where your boundaries are being violated. So you set yourself up in positions to try and mitigate the pain of that. So facing this pattern can help you get out of it and find harmony in those relationships that you're seeking, because that's what you really want. But you have to face this pattern exactly for what it is now to find yourself in a new cycle, find yourself in the happiness you're craving. So, yes, this was a short message, but this is what's under the veil and what Spirit's wanting you to address is a pattern that you're subconsciously avoiding. And if you break this pattern, you'll find that happiness you're really desiring. Yeah. Okay, so I want to lastly pull one of these cards. They're Rumi Oracle cards. And normally when I pull them, a really relevant message comes up. So for pile 1, Dance of the Divine Feminine. Yeah, there might also be some patriarchal things, just like collective trauma from the feminine, from women. I mean, women really had it rough and were very oppressed for many centuries and even today. So, okay, let's look at this. If a tree could move from one place to another, it would not suffer the pain of the saw or the oppressive wounds. If the sun and moon stood like the rocks, they could not offer brilliance. How bitter the taste of water would be if the river stopped its flow, remaining still like seawater. When the seawater rises to become a cloud, it loses its bitterness and pours the rain of sweetness. I've given you only a few examples. You can figure out the rest. Break away from the self and enter the kingdom of love. You may feel unsettled, beloved, as though the ground beneath you is not so solid. You may touch it to see. Is it moving? Of course. It is hurtling through the sky, spinning tilted on its axis. It's amazing you aren't passed out on the floor in utter dizziness. Yet you stand there, imagining you have a choice of not moving. What funny foolishness. Let us laugh about it together. How can you ever imagine it? Only through some misplaced fear. It is such a small craziness, really. You can cast it off, that small crazy fear. Let it return to the Earth Mother to become fertilizer for the far grander and more exciting insanity of divine love instead. Give up that tiny insanity in favor of the greater craziness of love. Oh my God, this is so relevant to doing this work. You cannot be unmoved by it. The rhythm of life will get you shaking your hips eventually. How could you not become entranced by the gleaming dance floor, shimmering with possibility and invitation? This oracle comes to you with guidance. Your life may feel as though it is being tipped upside down. Perhaps you feel as though the great beloved, in a feisty mood, has grabbed your ankles, is holding you upside down and shaking you wildly, until your skirt is over your head or the pockets of your pants become freed of their contents. Keys and wallets drop to the floor in disarray. Your hair is messy, your bottom is in the air, and your sense of orientation is nowhere to be found. Blood is rushing to your head, and goodness knows, you just want to be put down to have a moment to come to your senses. So the beloved will give you that gift, but don't imagine it will last for too long. The great beloved esteems you capable of so much more than being sure-footed and sensible. You are capable of more whirling and stumbling, whilst inspired by the music of the spheres. If you just accept the great invitation to dance, there won't be so much roughhousing going on. It won't be needed because your hair will be already in a mess. Your blood will already be pumping, and you'll be sweating, laughing, smiling, and dancing. The great beloved will be alive in you, which is all that grand seducer ever wanted in the first place, even with all the jokes and horseplay. Disarrayed and disheveled by the divine beloved, you are able to break out of a too ordinary world. You will explore the delightful consequences of rocked boats and upset apple carts, being swept away by love as you dare to dream bolder and wilder dreams for yourself and the world. There is a bigger magic for you to weave this lifetime. Prosaic priorities inherited from the world are stuff and nonsense. It is the priorities of the heart that matter to you. If you are ever to right yourself while the beloved is tipping you upside down like a soaring bird in most impressive aerial dynamics, it will be through establishing right priorities, the priorities of your own heart. So ask your heart what matters most and attend to that. Oh my God, man. Soon you'll be able to find your orientation even if everything you have once held on to appears to be shimmering and insubstantial, a mere dance of light rather than solid ground. This will become so easy for you because your orientation will flow from within, from the heart, and no matter what shifts and changes take place around you, your center will remain strong. This is what the beloved wants for you. Such peace and relief it shall bring you. But perhaps some shaking about is required first in case you are reluctant to give up some mainstays. unaware of how much they drain life away from your heart center. This oracle brings you this message also. There's something you're holding on to, a person, a place, a thing, a belief, a vision, and you need to let it go because it wants to grow. It may grow and change into something utterly different, or it may grow into exactly what you're imagining. Whichever outcome, growth is happening, and you'll find you enjoy the way much more with greater flow and support and less bashing of your head against a proverbial brick wall if you can let it happen. Don't worry if it seems as though your world is coming to an end or you are losing something you once loved. This is just the shaking about of the great beloved to lead you into a deeper, sweeter dance of divine being and becoming. Put your focus into your heart and realize you are more ready than you think. Now shake those hips, stamp those feet, close your eyes and clap your hands. There, that's better already. Wow, okay, so you're being asked to move your energy, change the way you flow, be conscious of some patterns you're in that aren't letting you move into a new space and allow this space to come. So, yeah, pile one, this is beautiful. This is really a miracle. You're facing something that has been limiting you, and you're breaking out of that box. So, yes, this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hey, pile two. If it shows the smoky quartz, then this is your reading on what's under the veil for you. So, let's get into it. We're going to first look at the archetype deck. What is under the veil that needs to be revealed to pile two? Okay. Oh, we have the shapeshifter. We have the prayer. Okay. So for pile two, what's under the veil that wants to be revealed to you is that you're in a period of finding your footing. And you're very adaptable right now, and your spirit's very adaptable to change. And this is something you need to know that you have room for growth and to evolve. And right now is a time where your spirit's really craving direction and to know what way to move and what way to flow in and what way to go. And when you pray, when you leave this up to the universe is guiding you in the right direction. And this is a period of trial and error, finding what works for you, finding your value system, finding what you're meant to be and who you're meant to be and what you stand for. And there might be directions you go in that are dead ends, and you are adaptable and can move out of them and into new ones. And you will find more faith in this process with a connection to your higher power. And prayer can even be just your thinking, the way you think. And there might be things in this process that fall away that don't serve you any longer. And people and things, and you're just meant to trust that the divine is working in your life in the way it's meant to. And I see that you're a very spiritual person, or if you don't feel that way, that's what you're going into. And in this period, you are trying different things to find the right path for you. And Spirit's working with you every step of the way. It's good to try new things and figure out what are the wrong roads so you know what right roads to go down. And everything is a lesson, and we are in Earth School, and just because things don't work out doesn't mean the divine isn't working in your life. It just means that a road, you're meant to learn something on that road, and there's a new way to go. So we're going to look at the alchemy deck now for pile two. Let's see what we get. Rotation. Ooh. Okay, I'm loving all the color in these cards. You are experiencing the vibrancy of life right now. And with rotation, I'm being reminded that you're meant to enjoy the cyclical process of life and trial and error and trying new things. And even if it doesn't make sense to you on a physical level, you're weaving a web that's the tapestry of your life. And every moment is sacred and purposeful in that path. And I feel like you have a very free spirit and you're living different chapters in your life that might not feel like they go together, but in the end, they'll all tie up in a web of your making and make a lot of sense to you. So don't be discouraged if you can't see the forest for the trees right now, because you'll be able to in the long run. And you're meant to just live in the flow and rhythm of your life. And this process is really making you know your values and your integrity system, your value system. And you might be burnt out from the changes in your life, but the more you know your values and what you stand for and your convictions, you'll feel more sure-footed in your path. You have a very close connection to spirit, and I think it could be hard sometimes to not be able to see the full picture. But as you continue to act with intention and do what feels right to you, steps will be made. There's no instant fix or instant moment that everything just comes together. You have to be in the process and continue doing things, and slowly but surely, you'll look around and everything has changed. There's no moment-to-moment change. And that's the thing about contemporary society, is we look for this instant fix, instant gratification, whether that be sex, drugs. I just heard politics, but that's I don't know what spirit's going on with that. But the good things in life take time and take process and can be slow. And you're meant to enjoy the ride. And prayer will give you relief. I'm really seeing that. You have a very close connection to spirit. Even if you don't feel that way, you do. And in your past lives, you definitely worked with spirit as a sage, or you did something. I'm hearing some of you were nuns and monks. And I think a lot of your lives, actually, you have spent being different in different fields. I'm seeing some of you were dancers in past lives. Some of you fought in wars. And what Spirit's saying is this current incarnation, the one you're in right now, you're meant to see how the slow process creates the most fruitful satisfaction. You're learning the difference between instant gratification and long-term rewards. This is a very Saturnian lesson you're learning right now. And the way you find relief in it is by staying close to spirit and leaning on those past life ideals of spirituality. Okay. One more card for pile 2. Okay. We have Vampire. It makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Okay, we were talking about that instant gratification. Instant gratification in whatever way you seek it in the modern world. Like the modern world and how advertisements work, how social media works. Everything is made in technology to make you addicted to it. And there's some things, I think it's impossible to evade that, the addictive qualities of the world if you live in modern culture, you know. So there's something that is in your life right now that you're spending too much time on, because life is a balancing act. And there's something that you can get out of that you're spending too much time on, and use that time and energy to something that's more worthwhile and more fulfilling. And you've been praying to have this revealed to you, and Spirit's giving you the answer. You know what is depleting your energy. And what's interesting is the shadow attribute to this is depleting others for your physical survival. And that's what, social media does. And, Instagram has this addictive quality, and it depletes the people who use it But for Instagram to survive, it must be attractive or make people feel they need to be on it. So yeah, there's something in your life that's depleting your energy, and you can and will overcome this. And this is a Saturnian blessing that once you get through this, you'll find more worthwhile, substantial, long-term things, long-term results, long-term projects that give you true satisfaction and fulfillment. And Spirit's blessing you with this. So next we're going to look at tarot cards for pile 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see. We have the Tower, the Moon, Ace of Cups, and the Page of Coins. Yeah, okay, this is very much a reiteration of what we were discussing. There's something in your life that isn't working, that needs to fall, and in this reading, it was revealed to you. You know what you've been using as an instant gratification fix. You're a very wise soul, and this is something that you've really been made aware of by Spirit. And you are meant to fill your cup and find what really gives you that life, that nectar, that life force feeling. And you know what that is for you, or you will very soon. And you're going to find the joy in the simple pleasures of life by getting rid of what isn't serving you. And you're really coming to terms with what doesn't work and what does work. You're learning through trial and error what's good for you and what isn't. And you have to try the wrong turns to know the right turns. Yeah, there's something that you've been trapped in that isn't satisfying your soul. And this is what you're removing yourself from. And you'll find true satisfaction on the other side of this. And really feel as though you're taking care of yourself. You're cultivating wisdom in this process. This is life. This was a necessary life experience. So don't be mean to yourself about having this. I mean, the test we're all learning right now is one of instant gratification and long-term fulfillment. So we're all going through this one. Okay. Yeah, you have a benevolent quality and a very beautiful quality to you, and Spirit's blessing you with, you have a very pure soul, and you're getting this blessing because of your purity. And I'm being reminded of how pregnancy takes 9 months. It's a slow process, but in the end, it yields beautiful results. And yeah, things that are good take time. Things that are good take time. That's the main message of this reading. And you are someone who's worthy of beauty and good. And the cosmos, yeah, the moon and sun are so big here. You're very heavily protected. And this is, I think, yeah, you're a much more complex soul than you give yourself credit for. You've been through a lot of lives. Yeah, reincarnation's a very heavy theme for you. Okay, let's see what the Rumi cards say. We have beyond death, life. Oh my God, we're talking about reincarnation. You can't make this stuff up. Okay. Footprints lead to the shore of the sea. Beyond that point, no trace remains. The soul craves variety because it leads to wholeness, and wholeness leads to divine revelation. The purpose of the soul incarnated in this world in the first place is to realize its divinity through the sacred crucible of life. The older the soul, the closer it is to the realization of divine oneness, and the more powerful its determination to shed that which would constrain complete and conscious immersion into the divine presence. Yeah, this is why you're drawn to this reading. You're an old soul who wants to integrate So here you are, an old soul at the edge of something you have known, at the cusp of an ending and a beginning. Perhaps you are already in surrender and falling in, or perhaps you are fearful and resisting as you greet your unknown destiny. Yet this moment is happening because your own divine soul has chosen for it to be this way, so that love may grow. There is no punishment in this ending, nor is there anything to fear. There may be pain, there may be grief and loss. There may be uncertainty and even insecurity. Yet you have a heart big enough to bear such growing pains. Your heart is even big enough to receive the joy that is lying in wait for you as you stumble across her in the course of your clumsy, inspired travails into new life. You can scoop her up in your arms and spin her wildly about as she delights in your embrace, throwing her head back and laughing her vibrant, contagious laughter, filling you with exquisite ecstasy. Yes, you shall know the truth, the knowledge that the divine is with you, guiding every unfolding moment of your life journey. No matter how dark it may first appear, the divine is with you in unflinching generosity, with compassion, and with fierce passion for your blossoming into all that you are, all that you can be. So what must you do to receive this divine grace, this new life? You must be willing to face death. It may be that death has come to you in the form of loss of a beloved one, a physical loss that may take you into the darkest despair or depths of your grieving heart. It may be that death that comes to you in the ending of a financial or professional situation you once relied on. It could also be in the sense that you don't really know who you are anymore. Old identities have shown themselves to be inadequate, inaccurate, mere ego mass, too small for the great being that you're starting to suspect you may be. Your death may be a choice to let go, to take a step in a new direction, to move house, to end a relationship, to change career, or to step away from a religious or philosophical tradition or a group or teacher. Your death may not feel as though it has come by choice at all. It may be sickness that leaves you feeling helpless, a relationship or other life circumstance changing when you wish with all your heart that it would not. Your transition through this death may be triggered by an inner feeling that you cannot quite pin down. Nonetheless, it powerfully propels you away from what has been towards untapped possibilities, perhaps even towards great confusion as you encounter life in a new way, feeling even somewhat unprepared and uncertain as to what may lie ahead of you. Now, how you deal with this grace, hidden though it may at first appear to be under the cloak of crisis, it is up to you. You have enough spiritual intelligence to shift perspective and to choose, if you wish, to rest your inner gaze upon what lies beyond the death. Gaze instead upon the new life that is calling you. When you know deep within that no matter what experiences you have had in your life that you are untainted, you will be more easily able to trust in the love that divine has for you. You won't question your worthiness, and therefore you will trust in life more easily and more fully, no matter how much it asks of you at times. The divine is a relentless lover, and wants nothing less than your total being to be held in its embrace. Sometimes that means we'll have to give up lesser loves for the greater love, the divine one that calls us to remember our true nature. You are a beautiful blazing soul having a human experience that defies explanation and opens you up to divinity. This is what is happening in your life now, whether the death is obvious and painful to you, or whether you are uncertain as to how it is as yet showing up in your life. Either way, there is an ending imminent and a new life coming to you, with greater opportunity for your radiant soul to shine its beauty in the world. Grasp it eagerly, beloved. Now is not the time for fear or hesitation. Focus on what is becoming, while honoring what is no longer to be. Wow, okay, that just really hit. That hit home. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm getting for you. Pile 2. Things are really changing for you, and it's going to be beautiful. So, this is what I'm getting for you. Honored to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hey, pile 3. If you chose the Celestite, then this is your reading on what's behind the veil for you. So for pile 3, Spirit, what do you want to tell them? What's behind the veil for pile 3? Okay. So we have the 1, the tear, and the storm. Okay. There's some unprocessed grief here. You've been through a chaotic time, and energies have built up from that experience, and you're being asked to work through this grief. and process it out and heal from what you've been through. You had a very enigmatic, beautiful moment in your past. Something very beautiful happened. And that memory, that experience is over. And something outside of your control made it go away. And this experience could have happened in the recent or far past. It doesn't matter. The point is that the energy of this experience is still caught inside you, and you're meant to release it. There was nothing you could do to avoid this ending. It was not your fault. And what you must do is, this is reminding me of eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, being thankful for the time you had, and realizing that it's good to cry this out, it's good to process this out, and you don't need to stay strong. It takes strength to be weak, and you're meant to be honest with yourself that you're grieving this, and that this event came as a surprise, this ending came as a surprise. All of it was a surprise. And there's a mourning that is still needing to be done. So, what else does pile 3 need to hear? The oil of vitriol. By grieving this, you'll have more control over how you move forward. This experience is controlling you right now, and by processing it out, you will control how you respond to this experience and move forward from it. This is one of those things that you will get power by facing it. You choose how you perceive this experience, and if you let it strengthen you and how you move forward from it. And the fact you experience something this beautiful means you can experience something this beautiful again. And this event was fated that it had to end. So this is about changing your perspective on it and realizing that these endings in life are inevitable. The end is in the beginning, and yet we go on, and it can be massively difficult. But it's almost as though you're trying to be strong to the point that you're struggling to move forward. And by processing this out, you're taking care of what you have control over. And facing this and being brave in the face of this, that's your superpower. And like I said, it takes bravery to allow yourself to be weak. So what card did we get? Hermit. Seek solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. I think you're meant to reflect on the past and give yourself the space you need to heal from this, to grieve this, to mourn this, and stop distracting yourself with other things. Allow yourself to face this storm that happened and rebuild. You'll know when it's time for you to come back out into society and try new things, but this is almost like an arrow can't shoot until the bow has been fully pulled back. So this is like your fully pulling back period to shoot back into life and to really come back into your power. And this grieving's creating that resistance, creating that tension for you to move forward and find that vibrancy to life again. This isn't something you can just push down. You have to face that you lost something that gave you joy. And in facing this, you'll be stronger for it and know how you need to move forward. Let's look at the tarot cards. The Ten of Swords in reverse. The King of Swords in reverse. The Hierophant and the Lovers. I see that you have accepted this ending. And there might be ways in which you've been focusing on the good and idealizing the good, and you're also supposed to focus on realize how this thing was no longer serving you, or how focusing on it now is no longer serving you. And this is coming to peace with the ending, grieving it, and finding beauty in the future. This is knowing that this ending made way for a new beginning. And any ending is difficult. I see you having, after this period of reflecting on it, coming into community and having new experiences. But it's by accepting that this is in the past and allowing it to stay in the past and mourning it, that you'll be able to move forward. For some people, you might have lost friendships you cared about, or a time period in your life that gave you a lot of joy is over now. And for those who have lost these friendships or have been betrayed by people in the past, people have treated them with worse than they deserved, you're meant to reflect on, you're not meant to idealize this past situation if it did end in betrayal or hurt. You're meant to see how it wasn't serving you, how it hurt you, and how much good is coming in your life because of this ending. There's just some grieving that needs to take place, and you'll find a lot more happiness in confronting this and allowing yourself to be stronger for this experience. I'm really seeing that this brought you where you were meant to be. And you'll be surrounded by people who vibrate on your wavelength. For pile 3. Okay. We have the Sacred Phoenix Heart and the Blessing of Zara. Under the cover of blood, love veils many rose gardens. In total faith, love tenderly guides every lover to the garden of the heart. Reason says the world is limited in 6 directions. There is no way out. Love says there is a way, and I have traveled it many times. Love guides us through travails that seem improbable, if not impossible. It does not shy away from any challenge, from any cause. It is just love's way. Love says to us, there is always another way. You're receiving this guidance now. Perhaps you're scratching your head quizzically or are in deepest despair because you appear to have met a dead end, a frowning no or a dismissive laugh upon your quest to bring love alive. So then, do you choose to believe in love or in the death of sorts your heart faces? Your heart shall rally. I choose death because that is the portal to new life. And so it is wise, you see, but you must be brave. To be burned in love by love for love will involve endurance of pain, but it will also place it in context. It is a shorter plan that is not compounded by erroneous thinking. That pain comes and goes quite quickly when you realize that love is simply playfully smacking your wrist and saying, not that way, beloved. There are great pitfalls on that path. Come take this one where there shall be wine and dancing. So you're guided to accept the closed doors, the death, the pain, and to let it become tinder for your fire. Cry whatever tears need to be cried so your tinder can dry and ready to create the sparks your heart needs. That sacred phoenix ready to die into life with you is hungry for the fire. Let it feast so it can fulfill its potential, its divine destiny, become born again into new form, more divinely aligned and alive than ever before. This oracle comes with a message for you. You may feel as though you have been wandering in a desert for many years with no oasis in sight.
You might have been through darkness, through trials, endured confusion and uncertainty as you sought for your truth, sought divine revelation, and sought your purpose to confirm your plans. Seek no more. The answers are now given, or very soon will be. In the life, the passion, the purpose, it will all come to you in clarity. Does life need to be grasped for? It is bestowed according to grace and destiny, and need not be sought as much as received. The spiritual destiny that calls your soul, even whilst you may feel your bodily ears are deaf to the call, makes your heart leap. It is as though hearing the beloved's voice and stirring an ancient memory of love so powerful moves you, even without you necessarily understanding how or why. So let the life come to you. Be prepared to let the old version of your life pass away into the new life now being born. What does this mean? It means letting go of your striving, your opinions, your doubts, your despair, and your fears. Life wants to happen through you, Blazing Angel. Ooh. You don't have to do much other than get out of your own way. Love is your nature. Let it flourish and life shall unfold accordingly. This oracle brings a particular message regarding divine timing, that oh so significant factor in our dreams coming to life. Your time is fast approaching. It may even be now. It may seem least likely to you. There may be great darkness or confusion, and yet the unveiling of the new dawn is closest to the deepest darkness of night. Do not turn back or away from your progress. Your next race shall be upon hallowed ground, rendered golden by the rays of the rising sun. And the blessing of Zahra is let go of thought. Don't take it into your heart. You are naked and thought is like ice. You use thought to seek release from suffering and pain, while thought is the cause of your suffering and pain. The realm of creation is outside the scope of thought. O foolish one, see the opus and behold the beauty. Look at the direction from which the images flow. See the brook that causes the wheel to turn. When we are hungry, we reach for what food is available. If we are starving, we may gorge upon what is before us, only to find ourselves overfed, undernourished, and in a most uncomfortable and dissatisfied state. Your soul needs better quality food. It has been detoxing. You have been shedding old thoughts, feelings, pains, and struggles. Memories of the past have been flooding out of your soul like parasites being expunged. And now your soul, thus cleaned, is in need of genuine nourishment to restore it to full radiance and vitality. Love will feed your hungry soul. Nothing less shall suffice. No sweet-talking charmer, hell-bent on seducing and moving on, will make the grade. No, it has to be nothing less than genuine romancing by the great beloved to feed, comfort, and nurse you into radiance. Only that divine finger, dipped in the heavenly honey, can be taken in by your soul now. All else will seem as empty junk by comparison. But can we summon the strength to overcome habitual and mindless attempts at feeding on lesser substances? Oh yes, the great beloved shall storm through the kitchen and with military precision clear out the cupboards, for only the best and finest, most decadent and delicious shall do for you. The oracle comes with special guidance for you. You're being given a blessing of Zahra, of radiance, of brightness. This blessing has a purpose. It is to clear out that which should obstruct your full unfoldment, to support the divine jewel of your soul in shining. You're being given an opportunity, supported by life, by the earth, by the grace of the divine beloved, to shed toxins from your being. These may be physical, and they may equally be emotional, psychic, or psychological origin. They may come from this or another lifetime. You may understand consciously what is being released, or you may not. If you are sensitive, you may feel symptoms of detoxification at a physical level, even if what you are releasing is emotional or psychological in nature. You are encouraged to complete the sacred honoring ritual, to stay adequately hydrated, and to moderate rather than excessive, and to be moderate rather than excessive in your approach. Give your mind and body time to rest and replenish so that blessing can be fully received. If you have been unwell or struggling to let go of an issue, this oracle comes as a portent of imminent healing back to good health, and of release of the issue into resolution and divine radiance. It is only a matter of timing, and that timing is imminent. This oracle also brings you the message that if something appears to be leaving your life, even something painful to release, it is because it is no longer healthy for you, or no longer supporting of life for you. There is something more loving and beautiful awaiting. Do not try to feast upon scraps. Stop scraping in the dirt for stale bread crumbs. Rise up and move towards the seat at the heavenly table gleaming before you, for a greater feast awaits your attendance. I'm hearing Being Jeweled by Taylor Swift. So, yeah, pile 3, this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my readings, and I'll see you in another pile or reading. Take care. Bye.
Hey Pile 4, if you chose the amethyst crystal, then this is your reading on what's behind the veil for you. So we're going to look at the archetype deck first. What is behind the veil for Pile 4? Okay. You have the comic. Oh, that's fun. I'm immediately hearing laughter is the best medicine, and it's okay for you to feel light and be able to joke about your circumstances right now. I think sometimes we feel like it's important to be serious during certain times, but to be able to make light of a situation and make light of the density on Earth sometimes, that's a superpower. And I'm being reminded that whatever way you can make yourself laugh right now, whatever way you can make yourself have that different perspective, it'll go a long way for you. And if there's any shows, any YouTube videos, anything that makes you laugh, it would be a good time to watch those. There's always going to be difficult stuff going on in the world, but we get to choose our perspective. And this archetype card talks about how comics have immense depth because they're able to see every facet of a situation, the good and the bad. And they still choose to find the humor and give themselves a break and enjoy their life even when things can be difficult. So if you have been feeling called towards laughter, towards enjoying the moments in the chaos, that's what you're being called to do for sure. So let's look at the alchemy deck now for you, for Pile 4. Okay. We have the Sun Splendor. Yeah. You bring a very beautiful energy to the groups you're in, and you bring a life force energy that people really need. And you're really meant to lean into this colorful nature of yourself. And the sun doesn't stop shining even whenever there's thunderstorms and difficult things happening on the earth. The sun continues to be what it is, and that's what you're meant to do too. And you're meant to enjoy your life even amidst the chaos. And what's underneath the veil for you is that you're meant to enjoy this precious life and enjoy what it has to offer and do what feels right and makes you feel good. You're a very wise soul who has seen all facets of life, and it shows the beauty of your heart, that you can focus on the good and focus on the beauty in your life. And this sets you apart, and this is something that you are meant to do. And enjoy the present moment, even if everything isn't exactly how you want it to be. Having that lightness of spirit. I'm being reminded, sometimes I love watching Larry David because he's this old guy who he wrote Seinfeld and stars it. He created Curb Your Enthusiasm and he stars in it, and he's just the funniest guy. And he's seen all of the bad and the good in life. He went to war, he was in the army, and then he became a comedian, and he chose what perspective he wanted to have on his life. And that's something I'm seeing here for you, is that even after seeing the worst of it, you can choose to make the best of it for yourself. You choose what perspective you have. And this also helps lighten other people's lives. This is like light work in a very beautiful sense. bringing your light to the shadows, helping people loosen their grips on the situations around them and learn to laugh. There's this Buddhist story about these three Buddhas these three monks who were always laughing. They were always laughing about life and just the craziness of it all. And one of the monks passed away, and the other two monks were just still dying laughing. And they could see the absurdity of life, and they chose to focus on the funniness of existence and the fact that, and the way they were able to do this was also by believing in eternal life, believing that there was more to the story than met the eye. And their perspective was one of enjoying this life, because it's wild that we exist at all, you know? It's wild that humans are here and that we survived. Sorry, Pyle, for the microphone cut off, but I was talking about how crazy it is that humanity has survived as long as it has. I mean, our ancestors have been around for millions and millions of years, and the fact that humans survived the ice ages, the natural events that happened during those times, the fact that humanity is still alive today is a miracle in itself. The fact we're around is a miracle. And there's something absurd about it that can be found in surrealism, like Salvador Dali's absurdism. Like, we take life so seriously, but the fact we're alive is a miracle. We're on a rock floating in space, you know? And there's something about that here, about enjoying the miracle that's life and loosening your grip on your life, because it's wild that we're even around right now in this technologically expanded age. It's easy to lose that perspective because it's normalized. It's what we live every day on a second-to-second basis. But it's pretty crazy we're around, and humans have been around for this long. So this is something about a perspective shift and realizing life itself is a miracle, and things don't have to be taken as seriously. So, and that's not to say we can't grow and change and be better versions of ourselves. But this is also, there's something here about lightening up and allowing yourself to see the lighter side of things at times. So for pile 4, we have hero, heroine, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Yeah, I was talking about how this doesn't negate the fact that we can grow and change. And I see that you're somebody who has really grown in your character and worked through your character defects and realized what wasn't working for you. You're very well versed in the terrain of human psychology and knowing how you act and why you act the way you do and why other people act the way they do, for sure. And your sacral chakra is definitely being activated right now. And you're learning how to balance out your personal empowerment with also being kind to yourself. And I think you see that you have so much potential to be this nuanced, beautiful person, and you already are that, and you keep wanting to contribute to that. And there's something here about honoring where you're at and how beautiful this journey has been, and the fact that you even can do this journey as a human is a miracle in itself. And I think there's something about enjoying it more and reveling in that more, and giving yourself the respect you deserve. For sure, you're a very beautiful person, and you might fear this laughter and lighter side of looking at things as a form of escapism, but everything's a balance. And if you're so well versed, as the cards are showing me, in your enlightenment journey, in your journey of self-actualization, you can hold the seriousness and the weight of what you're doing in one hand and also hold the lightness of existence and the miracle of it in the other. You can hold both. Both can be true at once. And I think this is something you're integrating right now into your journey because you've taken it seriously for a long time and it's gotten you very far. But you deserve to enjoy it and have fun and enjoy the brighter aspects of life. Spirit's very proud of you for the personal work you've done and the shadow work you've done. And they want you to enjoy this journey as much as you can. So, yeah, we're going to look at tarot cards now. What does Pile 4 need to know? Okay. We have the Three of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Three of Cups. Okay. So, you've been through some pretty harsh experiences that changed your perspective. They get led to growth and they led to you discerning your boundaries, knowing what works for you, what's right for you. It's taught you how to care for yourself and how you want to experience the external world. There's probably been friends you've walked away from because they weren't meeting your needs. And there's things you've done that you've really chosen yourself in a way that's very powerful. And I think you've had to grieve these past experiences and you're meant to enjoy the external world in whatever way you can. And I'm thinking about how there's 2 threes here and the fact that you have this 3 that is a card about grief, pain, loss, and this 3 that's about community and joy and happiness. They're very different 3s here. And I think you, regardless of your gender identity, are coming through as a Queen of Swords in the middle. And what I'm seeing is you can hold the fact that there's been this pain in your life and this loss and heartbreak that's altered your perspective and made you grow. And you can also hold the fact that there have been beautiful moments in your life of community that have also made you grow. You can hold both truths, that both things have formed you into the person you're meant to be. And what Spirit's saying in these cards is they really want you to focus on the good things that contribute to your life, because you're very discerning and you know what isn't working for you. You know what value systems, what ways of perceiving life just don't align with you anymore, and you know what does. And you're meant to, with this discernment, with this self-protection, with this awareness, enjoy your life and enjoy the things around you. And allow yourself to have those beautiful moments. This is definitely a both and kind of thing, holding both truths and knowing that 2 things can be true, even if they seemingly contradict each other. And I think you're creating the space in your life for those truths and that understanding. And the choices you made and the things you had to cut out, they were very spiritually led. And I can see that Spirit very much cherishes the relationship with you and cherishes the balance that you have in your life. And you deserve to have more happiness and more focus on the beauty in your life. And that doesn't negate or discredit the fact that this pain has happened, but you can hold space for both. And yeah, you're a very funny person. I think you would be good at stand-up or writing comedy jokes. There's something about your humor here that is really strong, and it comes from having experienced so many different things, both difficult and beautiful. You've had a wide range of experiences in this life, and it's formed you into this beautiful person. And yeah, you know what feeds your soul, you know what speaks to you on a soul level, and you're meant to embrace that. Okay. I want to now look at the Rumi cards. Rumi was a poet back in the day of a different time, and we're going to look at what Rumi wants to say to you. Okay, we got 2 cards. We have the Dissolving Light and Star Mother Arrakis. Okay, and that's cool. We were talking about 3s, and there's a 3 here and 23 here. 23 might be a significant number for you right now. Or a 3-year cycle or something like that. Okay, let's look at 3. The Dissolving Light. I died as mineral and became a plant. I died as plant and rose to animal. I died as human and I became died as animal and I became human. Why should I fear anything when I was ever less by dying? When was I ever less by dying? There is a light so intense, so powerful that nothing other than itself, its own truth, can exist in its presence. It is a sacred seed, the star of your being, lit up from within. It is the light that never goes out. It is the light that is so powerful it is beyond duality of light and dark. Well, cannot ever be extinguished or diminished, and quite simply, beyond all logic, just is. Certainly no lie or deception, no boundary or defense can remain intact in its presence. The blazing divinity of this light sears through any pretense, annihilates illusions, and takes us into stark experience of divine truth. It is gentleness, and yet it cannot be overcome. It is enduring power, and yet it is tender. Though you seek the divine, and even know it as love, you also know that it is fierce, wild, inexplicable, and demanding beyond all measure. It wants you, completely, utterly, without condition. There will be times in your life, such as now, where there is something not worthy of you that must be released. This is a falsehood, a lie or deception of some sort that you have come to believe about yourself, your life, or perhaps even another. You may know what the deception is, or it may be about to be unveiled. It is not a cause for fear or concern, but for celebration. An illusion has or soon will be released, and you shall become free in a way that only truth can provide. The oracle comes to you as a sign of that which is to come, and soon. The beloved divine presence is calling to you, igniting within your deepest being, so that it may have its way with you. The divine wishes to live through you and into the world, reaching into the hearts of many and igniting these hearts into greater life. It is a clever and insatiable lover. It will stop at nothing until the entire human race is restored to the wild divine freedom of ecstatic divine reunion, completely and utterly ignited in love. And so the great lover, the divine, calls for you to enter into the white-hot field of its passionate presence. There will be sizzle and burn. It cannot be otherwise. In the height of summer, you cast aside the layers of clothing you require in the winter. This is natural. You do not think twice about it. As you approach the radiant sun of divinity, your emotional and psychological layers are to be shed too, for they are too heavy for the heat of the great spiritual sun. What cannot stand the heavenly heat is to be cast aside swiftly by conscious choice or shall simply burn up, dissolving in the light and melting away. What is left shall be what is true. So here is your guidance, sweet lover of the great beloved. Give it up. The smallness, the conditions, the fears and doubts, the lack of reverence for yourself and life, the belief that somehow things are not okay or aren't going to work out. This is all a paltry attempt at truth. You are coming into a truth now that is far more worthy of you. A truth with a capital T, the big truth. Love, trust, surrender. This is about a sacred shedding without fear or holding back. Cast aside whatever would hold you back rather than free to fly into your divine destiny. You are not to be the same from this moment on. That is the holy word, the word inscribed in living divine fire in your sacred heart. This oracle brings you guidance. Trust in your changing perspective and perceptions. Don't hold on to what you once believed or thought to be true. Allow yourself to be shown another version of events, another way of perceiving. Don't focus on what is not working in your current estimation of things, for that is nothing more than a passing opinion. You are being given an opportunity to see and know yourself, others, and particular life circumstances very differently. Embrace it. Don't resist what is being shown to you, for even if there are some struggles in adjusting your view at first,
Ultimately, this change in perception will free you and bring you more deeply into the wellspring of your own inner peace and happiness. Oh my God, that's powerful. And 23. I've never seen this card. Star Mother Arrakis. Be the king who has made his own kingdom. Be the moon that has made his own summit. How much longer will you cuckoo like a pigeon? Empty your heart of all mortal lusts, and become life without breath. You will not call out for God anymore, for you have become immersed in God. Star child, earth angel, divine creature, your star mother keeps an eye on all the wild games happening in the sacred playground of the earth. She will care for you righteous and true, shining divine justice and protection. No bullies shall prevail over you. No bully from within you shall prevail either. No lies, deceit, or injustice shall temper your wild truths. Be demanding and claiming her love for you. Learn how to love yourself as she loves you, with wild, unconditional, passionate regard. Be like the child wailing for its mother. Ma, 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 come close. Then she descends. Like a torrential downpour of devotional light, a tsunami of affection is unleashed. A rampaging cosmic tigress hurtles towards you, her claws gripping the fabric of the skies as she rushes to protect her beloved cub. She will fight for you against the forces that would dull you and dumb you down, obscure your brilliance, and stultify your free-form dance into strict choreographed movements. She will pour her luminous essence into every crevice of your demanding soul. Nothing can resist her light. All shall be washed and revived in the outpouring of her luminous love. Then, sated and content, you are the child so secure in the love of the mother, you trust in life implicitly and in what is brought to your door. You do not succumb to untruths. You do not resist because you are safe, held in the love of the mother. You have no need to resist. What is there to resist? Nothing. There is only the loving truth in your world, and all is at peace in your heart. And should there be cause to stand up and fight for love, for freedom, for life, for her truths of unconditional life, respected and honored, well, you shall be particularly equipped for success. When there is that war to fight, you shall be the warrior who defends the motherland, absolute in your devotion to her ways and empowered through her vast, indefatigable, I've never seen the word indefatigable, triumphant power. And shall you bludgeon your way with brute force and fear? Of course not. So here's your guidance. Lay down your old weapons, for new technology awaits you. It is the most magnificent of forces, that of divine alignment, of surrender to the Star Mother and her way of luminous potency. From her great vantage point, the vast problems of our earthly mindsets are merely in need of a quick whipping by the tail of a comet. And this she easily achieves by flicking a strand of her hair or poking out her tongue. In the hands of a greater being, even your deepest trials will succumb to divine victory. Your ability to take the journey will be strengthened, and your success only a matter of the passing of time. Can you give yourself this gift, this blessing of the love, power, and protection of your star heritage? We all descend from the stars, but some of us are asked to remember to acknowledge the divine parentage from which we come, and to allow the innate divine dignity within to restore us to faith in the path here on earth. No matter how dark life on earth may seem at times, when we remember our holy heritage, we can also realize, ah yes, I am blessed, held as one with the mother, who shall not be deterred from great holy purpose. I shall prevail. I forgot that and feared, but now I remember and am determined once more. Then you shall feel joy and be inclined to dance, to sing, to make your art, and to live freely, fearlessly once again. Oh wow, okay, Pile 4. You're well protected and exactly where you need to be on your journey. So this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hello, Pile 5. If you chose the Labradorite, then this is your reading on what's behind the veil for you. Yeah, sometimes I feel very called to do a Pile 5, and that's how I felt with this reading today. So I'm excited to see what it is, or why Spirit wants it. Okay. So what is behind the shadow? What's behind the veil for Pile 5? Okay, we got 2 cards. We have the creator and the comic. Okay.
You're meant to trust in God's plan for you right now. There's something very heavily coming through about divine will and about the plans God has for you. Not to harm you, but to give you a future. There's something about the consequences of your actions here, and there's one relationship in particular that's coming through that there might have been pain with, or I think you did what you could with the information you had then, but there's a feeling here that you and somebody else got hurt within a relationship, and your actions had something to do with it. And you've been changing your actions. This really catalyzed you to become a better version of yourself. I love the phrase, there's no honor in being better than your fellow man. There's only honor in being better than your past self. That is something that's like an ethos I stick to, because I think comparison is the thief of joy. And I am adamant with myself about not comparing my path to other people's, because I know that's a lack of trust in God's will for me. And I'm seeing that you have been bettering yourself. You've been working to be a better version of yourself. And it's not always easy, but you have made strong improvements in this path. And you're meant to see this past situation and the past pain you went through, because I can see that the pain was very deep from this past experience. And I'm seeing whatever it was for you, the pain from your past actions. And I'm seeing you're getting to a place where you have a different perspective on it. You can see that it catalyzed your growth. And yes, it was painful, but it's also true that it made you face yourself and see how you had to change your behavior and change your actions. And there's a deep love here that you've learned to have for yourself. And I think in the past, when these things happened, you didn't love yourself, so you weren't able to show that love to other people. And I see you've worked very hard on yourself. And there's something about the ages between 22 and 26 here that might be important to reflect on, or could be important in your life if you're in them currently. There's some major lessons you learned then. Through this experience, you learned how to find color in your life, to find true satisfaction. And there's something here about what you had in this past experience that you felt like you lost, and what led you to rebuild and change your behavior. The essence of that can come back into your life now that you found this humility and focus on self-development. I'm not sure particularly how or when or what it will look like, if it'll be the same thing that you lost or something different, but at its essence is the same. Spirit's just telling me that what was lost will be recovered when you step into the arms of the undiscovered. That's me and Magdalena. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. That song really feeds my soul. That might have some messages in it for you. It's by the Monkees. And one of my friends from college, she talked about how the Monkees have a very wide range of music. They cross genres. They sing also Believer. I'm a Believer from Shrek or something like that. And it's just very different from me and Magdalena. And I'm seeing that this experience has made you a very dynamic person who has different dimensions to you. And you can hold both at the same time, and both can be true. And I see that you really own your past, and there's a humility here that you knew it taught you how to course correct. and to really find yourself. And yeah, there's a lot to be proud of here, and a lot of gratitude I'm seeing towards your higher power for leading you in this direction on a soul level. And I think this has really helped you to find humility and step outside of the ego, because whatever happened here was definitely, it hit your ego hard. It hit the story you told yourself of yourself hard. And so you changed your value system and really aligned with what truly matters to you. So for pile 5, okay, that's too many. I'm sorry. We're only doing 1 or 2 here. Okay, for pile 5. I keep wanting to say pile 2, so pile 2 might have messages for you. Oh, there's 2 cards here. We have glass and vinegar. I think the past has really made you find a clear perspective on your life and stop living in distorted thinking. And it definitely humbled you and made you realize that your perspective had been off when this happened. And it was a little vinegar into your life. And a little vinegar can be helpful, like metaphorically, a little bit of like vinegar. And food can be tasty. It can be helpful. It's too much that can cause us to become cynical or pessimistic. And I'm hearing you dealt with your fair share of vinegar in this situation, and it might have been a hard situation to go through, but it did clean your glass. Maybe your glass had been very smudged and needed a vinegar wash. Yeah, I think you suffered from some sort of thinking where your values just weren't aligned, and this vinegar came in to realign your values, and you understand that now. And it was a process that you went through that formed you into a more dynamic person. And the ages we have here are 30 to 34, so those also might be significant. This is really reminding me that these experiences, because these cards are in the 20s and these are in the 30s, this is reminding me of building blocks, that these experiences helped you self-actualize and realize what you really stand for. I think the situation in the past kind of knocked your foundation to the ground. You started from ground zero, and you had to really figure out what your values were, what was right for you, what you stood for and what you didn't, because I think you'd lost sight of what really mattered to you at that time. So, okay, I want to look at the other archetype deck. Awesome. We have storyteller, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Yeah, I think this situation allowed you to reflect, experience, and understand life in a way that was really helpful to you. And I think you'd, in the past, maybe lived in some kind of fantasy or some kind of skewed perspective that led you to not act on your values. And so you had to clean your glass of perspective to really be able to see things accurately and how they were. And I think you have a gift for creating, writing, sharing your voice. And in the past, it might have come from a skewed lens, but now you've learned how to see things more matter-of-factly, see things as they are. The road might not have been easy to get here, but it's led you to appreciate where you are and who you are, and really live your authentic truth. So, yeah, this really helped open up your creative abilities despite the pain of this experience, because I can see immense pain here. So we're going to look at the tarot cards now for pile 5. Ooh, okay. Two of Wands, Seven of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah. It feels like in the past you'd been going down a path that hadn't aligned with you, and this really shook you up to find a more authentic path for yourself. And for a while you didn't know what way to go. And you had to really you had to navigate what true satisfaction looked like for you and reorient your priorities, because I think things had become materialistic or ego-driven. There's something about self-aggrandizement here where your ego was knocked down a peg by the situation because you hurt someone you did something to hurt someone or something you really loved and love. This is something that kind of got caught in the wake of your storm that you never wanted to treat that way. You had to from like the ashes of this fire, from the rubble of this experience, you had to really find out what you truly stand for, what you fight for, what's important to you in your life, the kind of person you want to be in your life, to the people around you, and what direction you want your life to go, because this really woke you up to realize your life is not going in the direction you wanted it to. And that your priorities had been very misaligned with your true self and who you really are. You got lost in the sauce. And you want to be able to show up with integrity. I think your values had been externally focused, like how things appeared to others. And this tower crumbled, and you realized that your actions had to be on what felt right to your soul and to your true integrity and what felt right to yourself. So you stopped focusing on external appearances and you went inward and you found what truly matters to you. Yeah. This would have inevitably happened with any situation that, like, I'm hearing the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, this could have happened it would have happened when the time was right, and this was just the situation that happened during this time. Because your values were out of whack, there had to be an experience that came in that realigned you to your true values. But this experience, even though it was painful, you're going to live a very satisfying and fulfilling life moving forward, because you really stopped to figure out what wasn't working in your life. And yeah, it's a blessing in disguise that this happened, even though I can see that it was really hard to go through. So let's look at the Rumi cards for final. And there's something here about forgiving yourself for what happened, learning to forgive yourself. Just knowing that you did what you could with the information you had then. We have Victory of Miriam. Okay. If you are longing to caress the moon, don't turn away from it. If you are not ill, why do you crawl under a blanket to hide? You are an aquarium of sweets, why do you look so sour? You live in the spring of life, why are you withered inside? Don't fight against yourself, don't flee from what could be your glory. Like a fearless moth, dive into the flame. Why be linked to your obsessions? Burn out in the flames until your heart and soul are enlightened. Get out of the old carcass and form yourself a new body. Why are you afraid of a fox when you descend from lions? Why be a lame ass when you have the strength of stallions? The beloved you seek will arrive to open the door to your fortune, for love is the key that opens all your locks.
This oracle brings you a message of affirmation and success. Your victory is already assured. You are being led into it now. No matter if you believe it is not possible and you are placing more faith in the appearance of distraction or obstacle than in utter success. No matter if you have forgotten for a moment that the divine lives in you as you, and that apparent failure is only a part of the process, the plan through which learning happens, serving the ultimate holy victory. Yes, your victory is inevitable. So you are being given the reminder from the Holy Mother Mary, also called Mariam, in the beloved divine process of love that she serves. It is that presence that is real. It is the Holy Mother that is real. It is the divine in you that is real, and all else rolls around you so your soul can play. Every challenge and adventure is an opportunity for you to test your mettle and to be what you are in truth. The eagle that flies requires space and open sky. The tigress that hunts requires hunger to drive her to fulfill her being and live her nature. You need what you need to realize your divine nature as a living, holy expression of the greatest love. So life is providing for you that your needs be met. Whatever may be troubling you, or is soon to present itself, is not a situation or a circumstance meant to bring you trouble. You just need to allow yourself to become more eagle-eyed, beloved wild one. It is not what appears to be that is the source of challenge for you, not at all. It is how you are viewing the situation. Can you allow yourself to shift perspective? Yes, you know this is truth. It is only in forgetfulness that fear creeps in. Oh yes, to forget for a moment that you are divinity, and to lapse into erroneous belief that the challenges are more real than the love they veil. No, the real challenge is in the attitude, not in any circumstance or situation. Will you remember that all is divinity manifesting and nothing exists outside of it? All is perfectly designed to help you fulfill your being, live your truth, express your power, and reside in the perfection of your divine loving heart. Be curious rather than afraid. What is loving seeking to draw out of you now? It is always love and interaction with you, even if sometimes you feel like you are hauling a massive rock on your back up the steepest of all hills to build a temple at its apex. Yet when the temple is built, overlooking the ocean, and a startling burst of golden orange sunset explodes across the water, turning it gold, you'll forget about climbing that hill. You'll just drink in the view instead. You'll forget what you were supposed to worry about. Oh, don't you hate it when that happens? You'll just have to love in that moment and be peaceful instead. It makes more sense to notice the sunset than to turn your back upon its glory and grumble about how heavy these rocks were. Then, in your inspiration and your forgetfulness, you'll dream of another temple in the process of creation, perhaps with more lugging about of great heavy rocks, and it will begin again. But then so too will another captivating sunset be granted, best witnessed in your newly built temple that renders you speechless and spellbound. This oracle brings you guidance and comfort. Whatever is going on in your life right now, whether it brings you joy or deepest struggle, is the divine in you, as you, breaking through into your life. Do not hesitate to trust in it. Embrace it fully and let it have its way. There is nothing there that needs to be resisted. You are safe to be wild, to be alive. Live it with love and let it unfold. The promise of success is yours, so allow yourself to be brought to it through the guiding wisdom of life, the life that serves love. There is also a part of you that is daring to love, to live, and to trust more so than before. You are even daring to quit the traumatic tendency to relive so many past hurts and aches. You no longer want to taunt yourself with failure and critique. You are less frightened of yourself, so you do not need to sabotage yourself anymore. You are learning love's way and claiming it as your own. This is your path to victory assured. This oracle asks you to trust in your growing optimism, to let the war be over now and put it behind you, even if it means weeping with sweet sorrow and relief for a while. The sunset is golden. The struggle is behind you. Now just rest and enjoy the golden glow as you rest with love a long, long while. Wow. Pile 5, this was beautiful, and I'm honored to read for you. This is clearly a big step in your self-actualization, so this is what I'm getting for you. It's an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye.